I have put this as a business of caring. The reason I put the title there, there is a tricky situation now, especially with the elderly. Caring has become a business too. I work in an industry where I can do the business of caring, or I can flip it and care as a business, and which will always flip my priority and my purpose. So I have to be careful. But in Christian caring, it is a business of caring. Is That is why we are here for. We are here to care because Jesus cared for us. So the title today will be going along the business of caring, but I'll be breaking it into this way. Should we care? Whom should we care for? Why should we care for the elderly? How can we care? And when and where can we start? First, number one is, should we care? We hear this normally by people. I don't care. I don't care what happens to my neighbor. I don't care what happens after myself. I don't care. That's a very arrogant attitude some of us might sometime express or even have within us. Should we care? If we say yes, we should, whom should we care for? Should we care for our kith and kin, our friends, our loved ones? What does Christ say about caring? And why should we care for the elderly? Should we care for the elderly? And why should we care for the elderly? If we say yes, how can we care for the elderly? And when and where we can start? You know why, when and where we can start? Because we will become elderly very soon. Before the blink of an eye, we are there. And defining elderly is very tricky, but we will leave that point now. Right. I will start with this passage. I'm going to read it, though it's a bit long. I think while we read, the Spirit of the Lord is going to speak to us. So Matthew chapter 25, verses 31 to 46. It goes like this. When the Son of Man comes in his glory and all the holy angels with him, then he will sit on the throne of his glory. All the nations will be gathered before him. He will separate them from one another as a shepherd divides his sheep from the goats. And he will set the sheep on his right hand, but the goats on the left. Then the king will say to those on his right hand, "Come, you blessed of my Father, inherit the kingdom prepared for you from the foundation of the world. For I was hungry, you gave me food. I was thirsty, and you gave me drink. I was a stranger, and you took me in. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was sick, and you visited me. I was in prison, and you came to me." Then the righteous will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry and feed you, or thirsty and give you a drink? When did we see you a stranger and take you in, or naked and clothe you? When did we see you sick or in prison and come to you?" And the king will answer and say to them, "Assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of these least of these my brethren, you did it to me." Then he will also say on the left hand, "Depart from me, you cursed, into the everlasting fire prepared for the devil and his angels. For I was hungry, and you gave me no food. I was thirsty, and you gave me no drink. I was a stranger, and you did not take me in. Naked, and you did not clothe me. Sick and in prison, and you did not visit me." Then they also will answer him, saying, "Lord, when did we see you hungry or thirsty, or a stranger or naked, or sick or in prison, and did not minister to you? Then he will answer them, saying, Assuredly I say to you, inasmuch as you did not do it to one of the least of these, you did not do it to me. And these will go away into the everlasting punishment, but the righteous into eternal life. Caring is not an option, but a must. If we see this passage, we can see the righteous and the unrighteous address Jesus as Lord. There will be a time every knee shall bow and every tongue will confess him as Lord. Some are going to choose it, some are going to be forced on it. Address Jesus as Lord. But the righteous did not know the needs, the ones in need. They did not know where Jesus was, but they did it to him. The unrighteous did not need the need at all. They did not know the need at all. On this side, they did not know the ones who were in need, but they knew the need. But the other side did not know the need at all and did not see the Lord behind. The righteous, they were unaware of the acts. They were not accumulating points. They did not know. The unrighteous, they were unaware of the missing act. On one side, we can say to them as caregivers. The other ones we can say care missers. Though the word is not there, I just put it on there so that we don't forget. If one side gave the care, the other ones miss the care. And it doesn't end there. It's an eternal reward on one side and eternal condemnation on the other. It has eternal consequences. Either we give or we miss. One of them. Let's go to the next slide and see on an average week, what do we do? Sleep, cook and eat, work, leisure and rest, read. We also should add social media now. So we have all these things in our lives every day. When do we care for others? Do we have a slot in caring for some? Or within this, do we care for others? Now, I might say I work in a caring industry. That doesn't mean I will be caring. If I miss the business of caring as my motivation. So my challenge today is to ask myself, out of my average day, how many minutes or hours, or in a week, how many hours do I take to care? If I care, let me ask, whom do I care? Do we care for our family? Do we care for our neighbor? Do we care for the needy? Do we care for the lost? And do we care for the Lord? So that's a challenge that we can ask ourselves. Do we care, and whom do we care for? Interestingly, in the passage that we read, we can have some myths about caring. And this is what sometimes, as churches and Christian communities and NGOs, we might miss. We think hungry and thirsty are in need of water and food. We go to Ethiopia, we think of Sudan, we think of the poor who are there, of course, but that doesn't mean hungry and thirsty are in need of food and water, are only those who need food and water. There are hungry and thirsty people in the hospitals. There are hungry and thirsty people in the nursing homes. There are hungry and thirsty people in their own homes. The next one is the strangers are always refugees. This is a common myth that we slip into. The naked are in need of clothes. They are the ones who do not have clothes. The ones in the prison are evil and dangerous. The ones who are sick need doctors and nurses. The ministry is a calling and not for everyone. I would call them myths. If this is what Jesus was meaning, then I think we have missed part of it. But sadly, even Christian organizations and we as Christians miss that part. We think we should feed someone far away in a poor country, and that is our duty. But we might miss the one who is next door, who has means to buy food, but who cannot cook the food, who doesn't know who will feed them. They may be strangers because they have moved in and no one speaks to them. They may have clothes, but they may not be able to wear them. They are prisoners in their own homes. And they are sick. But they don't need a doctor or nurse. They need someone to listen to, someone to care, to visit. It's not the minister's job, it's yours and mine. We cannot be the goats, we are called to be the sheep. So the truth about caring, if we look at, is caring is spontaneous. It just comes out. It's like a spring which has a fountain and just comes out when you see it. The caregivers are not aware of it. They are just spontaneous. And the omission of caregiving can have eternal consequences. It can have eternal consequences. The people on the left did not kill, did not rob, did not do any bad things. They just missed the good thing. The omission of caregiving can have eternal consequences. There is a righteous judge watching over our omission. And finally, being busy is not a valid excuse. How many times I ask myself, how many times have I told I am very busy? I think I am in a caring industry. I think I am working hard. I think I am providing for my family. I think I am fulfilling my purpose. Am I missing being busy? That's the challenge I have to face on the final day. I don't want to miss Jesus in caring for him in those little ones. Now let's go to the elderly. The needs of the elderly, they are manifold. Number one is, of course, physical disability. Their mobility is restricted, their hearing is impaired, their vision may be impaired, they may be in pain, they have problems with breathing, they have issues with sleep, they have issues with digestion, they have issues with bladder and bowel control, and they have issues with appetite and food choice. Every day when I walk into an aged care, more than one elderly lady tells me they don't like the food that they get. Because some of them were very good cooks. They have a very tasty tongue. And in an institution, they get food which is monotonous, which is not the way that they cook. It's different, and they can't eat it. And whatever they say falls in their ears. They tell me, I don't like the food I get. Jesus might say, I was hungry and you fed me. Then comes the cognitive decline, the fearful thing. Because we have advanced in medicine, so we have bypassed death due to cardiac illnesses, due to strokes, due to high blood pressure, due to diabetes. We have escaped those illnesses which can kill us. But we haven't still conquered the dementia, the cognitive decline. So we are traveling towards that group, and there we are stuck. Bright people, sharp minds, witty tongues, they are all silent. They are gazing into the emptiness. Some of them are forgetful on and off. Some of them are confused. Some get agitated. Some behave unlike themselves. And they are kept in isolation. They don't know who they are. And people also get tired of visiting them. Does God care? He does. Then, of course, psychological issues. They're depressed, they're anxious, they're angry, guilty, sad, and frustrated. One lady told me, I am angry with my mother for divorcing my dad when I was 3. She is 93. And one day I sat with her and listened to what she said. And that was the happiest day in my life, because I thought this lady had a chance to tell what was bothering her. I had 2 sisters. One was 99 and the other was 102. They hadn't married, so they lived together. Some days they will be sleeping next to each other on each bed, holding their hands. Another day they will be fighting, beating each other with their fists. And very interesting sisters. And the younger one died of COVID. Everyone was busy. We were in the aged care industry, we were busy. We had a routine. We cared for them, so they fed them, they bathed them, they did everything for them. And they thought the 105 or 103-year-old, she's nearing death too. So she was silent, and she was missed. And after 3 months, one day when I spoke to her, she said, I miss my sister. We were all felt guilty. We felt sad that we had missed to care for this 103-year-old who had been with her sister for years and years, was not asked how she was feeling. Finally, spiritual needs. They need the grace to forgive, to be forgiven. They need forgiveness, and they need to forgive someone. And they need faith. They need hope, and they need love. One 99-year-old, she says she's scared to die because she's not sure. She has heard in Sunday school that there's a heaven, but she's not so sure. And she asks me, what is it like to be resurrected? What is the answer that I can give? Who will answer these questions? Who will listen to these questions? These are the ones who are asking for, who are waiting to be answered. And when one of them asked this question, all what I could say is only one person came back alive from the dead, and only he can answer. There are people, they want to know where they are going because some of them don't know. They did not ask, someone didn't tell. And now the days are slipping. They need the faith. They need the hope. And they need the forgiveness and the grace. I was in prison. You did not come and see me. So, caring for the elderly. They may live in their own homes or nursing homes. Not necessarily, we don't need to go into nursing homes. Sometimes the people are there being visited. But there are people who are living in their own homes, all alone. They are restricted and anxious in their own homes. They are lonely and depressed in nursing homes. And they feel vulnerable and violated. They feel, not that they are violated, but they can feel vulnerable and violated. And the worst thing is, they are unaware of what is happening around them. Someone else makes the decision for them. And they are just passive, at times even considered as objects. And our question is, do we care? Why do I find, or how can we find caring for the elderly? It's a blessing. One thing I find, elders are precious. Why precious? Number one, they are precious because God cares for their soul. God has invested in them. And God loves them. And anyone who is precious to God should be precious to us. I don't know whether the governments consider them as precious anymore, because they do not contribute to the wealth at present. They have contributed in the past, of course. But they are not in the active workforce. They are being paid, they are being looked after. They are considered as burdens. in one way, but they are precious because God consider them as precious. And anyone who does something to them, or anyone who does not do what it should be done for them, is going to be accountable. That's what the Bible says. Then elders will include saved souls. That I find as a blessing. I have a couple of elderly people who have experienced the grace of God and have been saved. I tell you, when I go there and talk to them, I feel so refreshed. They are full of grace and wisdom. They are full of love. They blossom. And the other day, I had to tell someone, I enjoy coming to you because it's true. Every time I leave her room, she will tell me, please be kind to yourself. That is the blessing that she gives. Elders who are saved are beautiful. They are not only, precious, but they blossom into beautiful people. On the other hand, some elders may need salvation. One of the ladies whom I was mentioning, she walked across the corridor and starts to minister to someone who is confused in a loving, gentle way. And the love, which spoke so much, made that lady start reading the Bible. We have missionaries inside, and also it's a mission field inside too. And they will be snatched at the last moment from the gates of hell. Like C.T. starts saying, rather than living in a house near the chapel bell, I would run a rescue shop near the gates of hell. This is the rescue shop near the gates of hell, because there are elders who are ready to be saved. I cannot officially do it, but I can see it. This is where we come as Christians. No one can stop you from going there. Elders have passions and ability. They still have something to give. They can sing, and they have a deep passion for something which can rub off, and that we can take from there. Elders have needs, and when we meet that need, we are blessed. You know why? Because they cannot pay back. That's a blessing that God will give us. And elders have wounds. And if we can help them heal those wounds, it will be beautiful. And elders enjoy company. One of the ladies, when I go and speak, she tells me, can you stay for another 5 minutes? Can you please sit in that chair and talk to me? Elders need assistance. Elders need advocacy, because they won't speak for themselves. They can't speak for themselves. The elderly can be lonely in their own homes. So caring for the elderly will be a blessing, and is a blessing. But I don't want to be one-sided. Caring for the elderly can be challenging too. They are weak, physically weak. It can be physically demanding. Let us not be blind to the fact we too are human. We also can get tired. We will be exhausted. Let us not be over enthusiastic. Elderly are weak and it can be physically demanding. Elderly can be rude. Someone told me, I am not brown. I don't want to be cared by you. Emotionally challenging. Elderly can be clumsy. Needs patience and perseverance. Elderly can be forgetful. Needs gentle handling. There's one lady who will ask how many children I have every week. And sometimes she had asked the names of them over and over again. He needs gentle handling. Elderly can be grieving and it's emotionally draining and it's risk of compassion fatigue. Elderly can be depressed and we will feel helpless. Elderly can be challenging. Please look after yourself. Elderly may be trapped. Handle with care and wisdom. When I say it is trapped, it can be very, very complicated. But just an example. Some elderly are kept at home because there's a carer's allowance and a carer's pension attached to it. But they are not cared. We have to be very careful how we handle such situations. We have to act with wisdom and tact. Let us not be over-enthusiastic people who may look like a bully to some, unnecessarily intrusive and interfering to the other. We need to handle very, very carefully. So, how can I care for the elderly as a Christian? Number one, spend quality time. Never rush. Never have two things in mind when we go there. But giving them total attention makes them feel very much cared for. I always try to look into their eyes when I go there because they hate haters talk to the other staff without involving them. They feel ignored, they feel neglected, and they feel that they're not important at all. Spend quality time. Pray. Pray for them and with them. Sometimes they're not going to be able to hear. That's why I say, pray for them and with them. If they can't hear, please write the prayer and give it to them. But let them know that we pray. Connect with them spiritually, but practically. If I am going to be, talking a lot, that doesn't mean I am connecting them with spiritually. I need to address their spiritual need and share their spiritual insight and allow them to minister to me as well. Because when they are used they are fed too. And they don't feel useless. They find a purpose. Deal with wisdom from above. Because sometimes the situation will be very tricky. It will be complicated. There are complexities behind every life. The elders are not free from it. So we need to handle with wisdom. Fill in when needed. If there is a need and we can do it, let's do it. It may be simple. It could be posting a letter, or it could be taking them to church. It could be buying a card for her granddaughter, her grandchild. Something simple. Filling when needed. Those small things are big things for them. Have boundaries. When I say have boundaries, we have to be careful that we do not sort of get misunderstood. Sometimes they may want to give us something as a gift, as a token. But let us be careful what we accept and what we don't, and how we accept and how we don't. It's a good practice not to accept anything valuable, because they can be emotional and they can be vulnerable. They can be forgetful. So let us be careful, have boundaries. Abide by rules and regulations. Every institution will have its own rules and regulations. Let us not break it or threaten it or challenge it, but let us ask what is allowed and what is not. One lady during COVID time, she asked me whether I could arrange her to be taken to her son's grave. Her son, he died when he was very young, in his 30s. She wanted to go and visit his grave before he died. I couldn't do it because I had no power. But what I could do was I could ask. So I went and asked them, can you do something like this? They could not take her, they did not take her, but she knew I cared. And that made her settle down. So abide by rules and regulations, but try what we can do and cannot do. Next one, raise the flag if necessary. If you see something which is not right, raise it. The problem is not raising the flag, how we raise the flag. If I can raise the flag with anger, with judgment, and I can raise the flag humbly and gently and say, can we do something different here? Have Christ at the center and care as the motive. Have Christ at the center and care as the motive. And lastly, leave if it is not accepted. Let us not force ourselves into serving. Let us choose and leave if we are not accepted. The challenge today, am I a caring person? Whom do I care for? Is there anyone who needs care today? What can I do? How can I improve my caring role? How many times have I excused myself as being too busy. Let's go back. Should we care? Whom should we care for? Why should we care for the elderly? How can we care? When and where can we start? Let's look around in our church, in our neighborhood, in our relative circles, on our road. Is there anyone whom we should care for? And Jesus says, don't miss them. You may be missing me. And the parable of the Good Samaritan is a beautiful example of the Samaritan who was carrying on with his business and bothered to care for someone on the way. And that's what Jesus is asking. We are not to go in search of fallen people between Jericho and Jerusalem. We are called to care for those who have fallen by the wayside when we are carrying on with our business. That is business of caring. May God bless you. I'll open the floor for anyone who wants to add.